What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Pretty Girl Progression Podcast. I am your girl, Sherelle. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you stay. And if you have been here before, girl, welcome back. And as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Now, ladies, I have created something super special for you, and I've also made it free. I have created my 10 tips to personal development. This is talking everything from grounding to doing your mirror work to overall just self-love. Why? Because self-love is the best love. I've also created a 30-day devotional. This is everything from your daily affirmations combined with biblical verses to match and a personal message on every page from me to you. So you can pick this up at www.prettygirlprogression.com today. And because I'm super transparent, it's to keep the lights on, y'all. It's to create amazing events for all my ladies. And yeah, just support the channel by purchasing something on the website. Now that all of that's out the way, I have an extremely special guest. Not only is this young lady my cousin, she is fierce, she is a businesswoman, she is also a Jill of all trades, okay? Y'all, give a big round of applause for Nikki Hyppolite.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for sitting down with me. We have so much to talk about.
Yes.
And I can't wait for the world to get to know you a little bit more. But first and foremost, cuz I want to ask you, what does Pretty Girl Progression mean to you?
So Pretty Girl Progression means to me just doing whatever makes you feel happy, makes you feel beautiful, and, having your own stuff going on for yourself, getting into your own bag, and just building something that nobody can take away from you.
I know that's right, okay? Mm-hmm. Building something that no one can take away from you, okay? I love that. So let's get into your childhood. For people who don't know you, just give them a little idea on baby Nikki.
So baby me was a very athletic, outgoing kid. I did so many sports. My parents were both entrepreneurs. My mom's a pharmacist, and her and my dad owned many pharmacies together. So growing up, I definitely come from entrepreneurship, and that was the path that was just paved for me from the beginning.
Facts. Literally, we come from that's why I'm building this podcast, y'all, because I can't see myself working for anybody for the rest of my life. Okay? Now, let's transition into womanhood because, I can't believe all my cousins are growing up. This has really happened. So tell us about what that transition to womanhood looked like or felt like for you.
So the transition was definitely a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I just thought it was going to be like a cakewalk because the path was already paved. My mom did it, my dad did it. So they were just kind of hand it to me on a platter. Was not that at all. I was definitely forced to, get it out the mud myself. And I had to grow up and learn how to speak up for myself and just really... I lost my words.
No, you're good.
Just, get it together and stop depending on anybody else and doing what I needed to do to get everything done.
When you thought it was going to be on a silver platter, literally they got the finances, whatever you want to do, here you go.
Just
now go be
do
great.
It for me and I'll just come to reap the benefits. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to put
knowing Uncle Ruben at least, that was not going to go down that simple.
I know. But that's what I thought, but no.
Yeah. So for people who have no idea what you do, let them know what you do and what your business is.
So my business name is Flex Bodywork. I am a licensed massage therapist and I am a certified stretch therapist. So I do massaging and I also do assisted stretching. So I mix that together to just bring a service that fits you best. So let's say if you come in and your back is bothering you, I'll massage it out, get the kinks out, and then I'll end the session off with stretching just to really open up the area. I'm leaning more towards stretching because I feel like it's so beneficial and a lot of people don't know about it. And a lot of people need to know that this is something that is so good for every age group from 0 to literally 100. It is beneficial for anybody.
No, for sure. I literally can't even like touch my toes right now. And I used to be a cheerleader, a dancer, and it's like the more you prolong stretching, the worse it can get. I think that's why I see people like with their back all hunched over and everything. I don't want to be that. So stretching is important. But what made you want to get into massage therapy?
When I was younger and like me and my brother did sports and like when he would get hurt, like I would try to like act like I know what I'm doing to try and fix it. And then every time we'll go to the doctor for injuries or whatnot, like I would just watch them. And I was always intrigued with like healing processes and things like that. So in high school, I joined the athletic training team and we like worked with the football players and the basketball players and like that's where I learned how to stretch, to tape, to splint a broken arm if they broke their arm in the middle of the game, whatnot. And that really sparked my interest to be in this field. So I wanted to be a physical therapist.
Okay.
When I did my research, it was really boring. Like it just didn't seem like something that I would enjoy doing for the rest of my life. And I want to do something that I'm going to enjoy, you know? So,
right, but explain the difference between like physical therapy and then massage therapists.
Physical therapy is more like you go through all this schooling. Well, this is my understanding of it. You go through all this schooling and then you work under like a hospital or like an organization and people that, you know, been injured or older people that are trying to, you know, get some more range of motion. They come and you give them exercises.
Okay.
That's just not what I'm trying to do. Massage therapy, it's a little bit more hands-on, obviously. The interesting thing about it is that you deal with many different types of things, and it's kind of cool to feel muscle and like the tightness and things of that such. But to tell you the truth, I don't love massage therapy. I'm doing it to have it on my credential list. My end goal is a chiropractor.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll talk about that because let me tell you something. I think just like with school, right? When you go to college, you start off with one major and then you're like, this is really it. So you switch it around and do that. Like this is just a stepping stone.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been working with athletes, I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
How has that been?
Honestly, I like it. I really enjoy working with athletes and working with people that want to do better and get better because they're determined and they are very on top of what they need to do. They're very consistent because they're trying to get to a goal. So I enjoy working with those type of people versus working for people that just call you every other month when their back is hurting. Because you're not going to feel better because you know, you don't exercise, you don't do this, you don't stretch, but you want me to come fix you every other month. No.
Yeah. So, you know, preparing for this show, I started doing some research. And anytime you hear physical therapist, massage therapist, at-home service, people always associate that with like happy endings. And I recently heard about Deshaun Watson. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's a football player. He was actually a quarterback, I believe, and he just had a 26 count of sexual harassment from his massage therapist. And Shannon Sharp was mentioning, like, when you're an athlete, you typically only have, 1 to 4 massage therapists throughout your career. This man went through 26 in a short amount of time. So explain, how do you protect yourself being a beautiful woman walking into someone's either house or, a facility? How do you protect yourself?
Oh, 26 is crazy. I'm sorry.
26 is nuts.
Oh, no. So With me, when I'm doing somebody that I don't know, typically if it's a man, it's coming from another referral.
Okay.
If I trust that referral, even if I feel uneasy, like I'll even go back and ask the person that referred them, and whatever. If it's somebody that I completely don't know, first I go through their social media. I'm be turned into a whole private investigator.
As you should.
If I still feel uneasy about it, I pray about it, ask God, because one thing He's gonna do is always give me the answer, always show me.
I know that's right.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah.
I'm a traveling massage therapist, so I mean I have my office, but I also travel as well. And if I really feel uncomfortable, but if they really want to come, I have them come here.
Okay.
And then if I have to travel there, like when I'm walking up, I'm on the phone with like my mom or a friend. And I'm like, okay, I'll be done in an hour. I'm gonna call you as soon as I'm done, so they can hear me say that. And I keep a taser on me strapped.
Right.
And I'm very strong. I work out every day, so don't even try me. That's
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of wild to think, like, first of all, as an athlete, to assume that someone who you hired to help is like you're trying to push them into this uncomfortable position. Like, that's insane in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you had an experience like that?
I have, but the crazy thing is that does not come from the athletes. It comes from the regular life working men.
Wow.
Because they come in and they're like, oh, I want some relief from XYZ. Da-da-da-da. Every athlete that I've worked on is very like, they're just on top of their stuff. They're coming to get their service and that's it. And they're used to this because they do that in college. They do that in NFL. They have this at the facility. So that's why that story just kind of threw me for a loop because that's
you got to look at it. What advice would you give to another massage therapist who's, new in the game, who is, who might battle with like that fear of somebody trying them or?
My advice would be to number one, always carry yourself as a professional, like no matter what. If they try to engage in a conversation that's not professional, shut it down immediately. Be like, I'm not comfortable talking about this. Or, just deflect if you don't want to make it known that you are like shutting it down. Because sometimes they get mad and they're like, da, 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 da. You just kind of have to deflect. And also, I had something else in mind, but I forgot. Dang.
No, you're good. You're good. Because even deflecting, I think that's great advice. Like, please, sir.
Yes. And then trust your gut.
Yes.
If you feel off, do not go. Do not go. And if you're in the middle of the service and you're there and you feel off, politely tell them to get up off your table, pack your stuff, and go. Because especially if you're in somebody else's house and you don't feel safe, leave immediately. Like,
absolutely.
And when you're in somebody else's house, make sure you know every door that's around you, and you're aware of that. And people walking around. Typically, when I go to people's houses and I'm doing men, I don't like to do it in a room, closed doors. Like we're gonna do it in the living room, or we're gonna do it like in an open area that's not in an enclosed room.
Yeah. So your brother, shout out to my cousin, Ruben Jr., has he given you any advice, or has your pops given you any advice on how to just carry yourself as an entrepreneur and professional businesswoman?
My dad definitely. He's in my ear a lot, yelling at me a lot about just my value. Because when I was first starting out, I didn't really want to charge how much I charge now because I'm like, oh, I'm new, this, that, and the third. He's like, forget that, you're good. I know you're good. And he's like my number one like supporter. Like he'll go sell me to everybody. So he's definitely giving me the tip, like the advice of just knowing your value and not lessening who you are because you deserve what you deserve. And people pay for good work and you're good. So
absolutely. Okay. Charge what you charge. I remember when I first started hosting and my mentor, shout out to Slim City, like I was like, I don't know, like maybe I should just charge like $50. He's like, look, just start off with 75. And then it got to a point where I just did a few free gigs because I was like, I don't know. He's like, your new rate is $125. I'm like, $125 an hour? Are you sure? And he's just like, trust me, people will pay that. And people will pay
They will.
that.
They
So do
will.
not discount yourself
They
ever.
will. They will. And I also realize the people that will pay the high prices, those are the people that you want to be with, because number one, their referrals are going to pay the same price or even higher. And number two, they're more professional. When you cheat, that's when you get messed up with them, with the other men that want to come and get happy endings, this, that, and the third, because they're just trying to find something quick and cheap. But when you price yourself high, the people that really need you and want your work because it's good, they're going to pay.
Absolutely, every time. So I wanted to ask you about like chiropractor work. Do you do any of that at all?
No.
Or is that something that you would get into eventually?
No, I'm definitely going to get into it eventually. I'm actually starting school next month, and then I'm going to move to Atlanta and go to Life University. So that's where I'm going to get my chiropractic degree from. But yeah,
the Black Mecca. Yeah. The Black Mecca. I always call Atlanta the Black Mecca of everything. Black excellence. I love that for you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Man, okay. I wanted to also ask you, as, again, an entrepreneur, as a woman, do you see yourself starting your own business completely, like opening up your own office?
Definitely. I actually was going to open up a space like a couple months ago, but I kind of had to like pull the brakes and be like, hold on, I'm just starting out. Let me just chill. And then with starting school soon, I didn't want to take on too much. So it was just kind of perfect that I can just, have my home office and then do house calls, because I can charge more for it to go.
Very smart.
But I'm definitely going to open up my own space, especially when I'm done with chiropractic. I want to have chiropractic, stretching, and massage therapy under the same roof, and that's going to happen. Yeah.
Very, very smart. So, because we love giving advice to the ladies, and I think we're like 10 years apart or something. So I'm always curious about like your generation. Let's talk relationships.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're single, taken, or what question mark, but yeah. So what is dating like for your generation right now?
Girl, I'm definitely so single right now. I've been single since I've been single for about a year and some months now. So I haven't really been dating since like high school for real, because it's a different ball game. And especially the type of men that I typically go for, they're so sassy now.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just like, do you want to be the girl or do you want me to be the girl? Like,
right. I always talk about like women should know exactly what they want when it comes. Like, let's move looks out of the way. What do you actually want? And that's what someone should go based off of.
I actually want somebody that's a gentleman, somebody that understands their value and their worth. Because a lot of men don't. A lot of men are very insecure, and that bleeds so bad into the relationship.
Ooh.
So if you can understand your value and you're content with yourself and you have your own personal relationship with God, then we can maybe have a conversation. Maybe. And
I remember your dad said that.
That understands their role and how we would fit as a puzzle.
I remember Uncle Ruben gave this analogy about like low-hanging fruit when he talked about, all women should prize themselves as the highest mango on the mango tree. But when you are automatically entertaining a man who's picking up the fruit on the bottom, like that's easy. Anybody can walk up and snatch the rotten mango. But it takes a real man to climb up the tree to get the best ready mango possible. And I was like, amen to that. Okay. That's what all women should strive for.
100%.
Yeah. That's so important. Okay, so she is single, y'all. So we looking for only gentlemen and who bring something to the table, men. Okay? Let's talk about faith, because you mentioned a man of God, and just faith has been your your foundation, even when you talk about business and who you are at your core. So let's talk about faith. How important is your faith in every level, every journey, every phase that you've been in your life?
Number one, like without faith, I don't even know if this situation would be going on like at all. It's so important to make that the foundation of everything because you want to build on rock, not sand. So with friendships, relationships, business, personal life, anything, faith is the rock for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even with our women friendships, our female friendships, have you dealt with anything where, do you and your friends pray? Like, do you feel like you and your friends pray together, or like you guys have that foundation? And I only ask because a lot of friends don't pray together or pray for each other. So I'm always curious on that.
No, we don't. Honestly, I feel like my friends and my faith journey, I started my faith journey first. Like, cause I grew up in the church and like faith has I've always been, I always knew God, but I didn't really have my own personal relationship with him until about like, I want to say the past year or two. So my faith journey just started then. And obviously my friends believe in God too, but they don't have their own personal like relationship with him in a sense. So when I started, it kind of inspired them in a sense. So I have one of my friends, like now she watches sermons and she reads the Bible, and sometimes we'll do Bible studies together. And we would pray, but it's like I'm praying. Like we're not like praying together because she's learning.
Yeah.
She's getting there. So hopefully, yes, one day we will get there. And we not hopefully, we will get there because they're starting to grow their faith after, me introducing it to them and after me kind of forcing them. Because now, like, I don't listen to any secular music at all. Like, if they're riding in my car, we're listening to gospel music. Like, we could be going to the beach, you could be going to hang out. We're listening to gospel music. Like, I force them to. So I think now it's starting to like feed into them, and they're like, okay, well, maybe I'll start to read and start to listen. And so, yeah.
Listen, let me say something. The older you get, the more you will lean on the Lord. Jesus will be like your best friend, okay? The one that knows everything. So is it even hard for you being like a beacon of your friendships, being that leader in a sense of, hey, this is what I'm doing?
It's hard, for sure. It's because, especially when you're trying to grow, it's like, and then being the first one or being the only one in my friendship that is really on this like strict journey is definitely hard because, like they're still having fun. They're still drinking and smoking and doing whatnot. And I'm really just trying to hold myself up to this standard, like, and not fall. Sometimes I fall to temptation. I'm not perfect.
Of course.
But it's definitely hard to keep my head above the water sometimes. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. So it's safe to say, like, or let me ask you this: when have you recently struggled with your faith? Is there a moment where you're like, Lord, I'm not dealing with you right now? Because that's how I be talking to the Lord. I'm like, God, you tried it.
Every time I'm in like a situation where everybody's having fun and everybody's drinking, and I'm like, it's not a sin to drink.
No.
Then I'm kind of like questioning.
The Lord did turn water into wine.
Right. So I think that's been my main struggle is like when we're out and everybody's having a good time. And it's like, I'm not saying I can't have a good time without it, but I'm so used to doing it in the past. So I'm just kind of like, okay, well, that's my recent struggle. Like trying to stay firm and, not fold.
So what advice would you give to others who are in a situation, they're in the parties, they're in the club, you don't necessarily want to drink, but that's what's happening right now? What advice would you give to someone else dealing with it?
You have to take yourself out of that environment. I'm not going to lie. Because when you're trying to change, being in that environment is toxic for you in the moment. Like, there was a point in time I stopped going to the club. I stopped going to parties. I couldn't be around it because I was weak. Now, even though sometimes I still want to indulge, I can say no. So being
Yeah.
around it now doesn't bother me as much as as much as it was in the past, because I've grown a tolerance to say no and a tolerance not to indulge. So you definitely have to take yourself away from it and isolate yourself, because when you're trying to grow, you can't grow in a toxic environment.
Yeah. And sometimes it forces you to have these conversations with whether it be your partner, your friend group, where it's like, look, this is where God has me going in this season. Like, I can't do the same things. If I want something different, I cannot do the same things. And if they're really your friends, they will adjust, they will level up, they will do what's best. It's not saying that you need to convert them, but you're leading by example. So you just got
Right.
to do what you got to do.
And that
You
is
know?
why I love my friends, because I'm like, look, they know what I'm doing. Like, even when I first started this journey, we had a whole sit down conversation. I told
I
them, and they're
love
like, okay,
that.
well, like asking questions, whatnot. And I'm like, even to this day, I'm like, listen, don't ask me to drink. Don't ask me to take a shot. You know, when you get in my car, don't even ask me to play Drake. Don't ask me to do nothing. And they know. So, like, even sometimes, like, if I'm around, they're like, okay, I'm not going to play this because, whatnot. Like, they respect it.
Yeah.
They're not like, mean about it or anything. They're really
That's
respect
good.
what I'm
That's a
doing.
blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a blessing for sure. Like, because with this journey, like, you will be up and down. No one is perfect. Okay. Literally, no one
Right.
is perfect. So you have to honor the stages that you're in right now. And you have to listen to your body, because I know there was a point where I literally stopped drinking because my body was reacting to it. It was like, what is this? I don't want this anymore. What I used to drink vodka, I can't drink vodka anymore. When I used to smoke heavy, I can't smoke heavy. Like, your body will literally tell you and save you.
Yeah.
So you gotta be
100%.
mindful. And sometimes there's a season where you have to be sober minded. Like, literally have to be sober minded. It could save your life. So
Because the
I feel
enemy,
you on
girl,
that.
enemy be at work. So you
Right
got to
there.
stay alert.
Right there. And the enemy, on top of it, a lot of the times it's a counterfeit, right? Like, it will be disguised as someone that you maybe admire or you look up to or you see from afar and you're curious about them. And that could be the counterfeit person right there, ready to snatch you up. So what inspired your journey with your faith? Like, when did it click, or who inspired you?
Honestly, it was after a breakup. And then after the breakup, like, I started messing with somebody else to kind of like get over it. And it just went south. Like, it just went really bad. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of trying to chase something that I'm not gonna get from people. I'm tired of chasing the desire to like be loved and to be treated properly. And I'm not gonna get that until I know my value and I truly love myself and I truly, just value myself higher than what I've been doing in the past. So that kind of just forced me to like, all right, like, I'm done. I'm tired of feeling like this.
Yes.
I can't do it. So
Yeah.
I made the switch like quick. It was like literally like a overnight realization, and I like deleted all the music out of my playlist. I'm like, I'm not going to the club, I'm not doing this. And I definitely still did it. I definitely still listen to certain types of music and things like that, but it was a work in progress.
Oh, for sure. So I did an episode a while back, Red Flags When Dating. Can you give us any red flags that you have experienced? Give the girls some red flags to look out for.
Red flags. There's so many red flags. People
So
are
many.
just red flags. Like, I
People are just
cannot.
red flags.
I just. What is not a red flag? That's the question. Like, I don't even know what a green flag like looks like to like in men these days. They don't even
Okay,
have.
so red flags. Love bombing.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Okay, so that struck a chord.
Yes.
Love bombing.
Top tier red flag.
Aggressive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Because we like a little aggressiveness, like very stern, but you can tell the difference, like somebody who has his Ike hand up. You know what I mean? That's a red flag.
A
What
red
else?
flag, I would say, would be those men that are like overly dominant. Like, that's their personality, is to be dominant, if that makes sense. I don't like that because it's like they try to just make themselves this controlling person, and like I don't know if you get what I'm
You ain't
saying.
feeling
Like,
that. Yeah, you ain't feeling that.
yeah. Like
So
just people that are overly done. Like women not supposed to do that. Women not supposed to do da. You're this. You're that. I'm supposed to do this. Like just chill. Okay, I'm gonna do
yeah.
what the hell I want to do. Like.
So what about any green flags? Like a green flag would be all the positives that you would want.
Definitely.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Yes, we love a green flag.
Definitely a green flag is somebody that's a gentleman, somebody that, you know, because, okay, I feel like in our generation, guys nowadays, like as soon as they come to talk to you, they have this perception of women that we want them to pay for everything. We want them to this, that, and the third. So they just feel like we try to attack their money. So guys that don't really have that perception of you off rip is a green flag. Somebody that, you know, wants to actually get to know you outside of your appearance is a green flag. Somebody that their parents taught them to open doors and walk on the side of the street, that's a green flag because that means you were raised properly.
Yes.
So those are just a couple.
100%. So do you know what you look for now? Because it's been a year and a half. Do you know what you look for now when it comes to a guy? Because you're still young, you know?
Yeah, like I just stopped worrying about it because I just been trying to build me, get what I'm doing going on. And I just kind of feel like I need somebody that is in the same boat as me, like that are also building something, having their own thing going on. Like,
yes.
If I have a car, you should have a car. If I have a job,
Yeah.
you should have a job.
Yes,
Period.
100%.
Like,
I remember your pops told me before, he was like, don't worry about the guys. Make your money. Establish yourself. They gonna come. When they see that you got motion, you get to, it's the pick of the litter. You could pick whoever and do whatever. Like, focus on the bag.
On you.
Focus on the money.
Focus on you and yourself. And when a guy sees you, he'll know that that's the rib that he's missing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me ask you, what do you see for Flex Body in the next few years?
Flex Body work. I definitely want to become like this big company and like hire different people. I think I still want to do the whole house calling thing because people feel more comfortable in their space. So I think want to hire some more stretchers. I think I'm going to get like the credentials to certify people to stretch. So I'm going to teach them how to do it and then give them the credentials and then they can work under my company.
Yeah, that would be fire. I like that. There's something that I didn't get to ask you, but what has been the hardest part of this entrepreneur journey for you?
I think the hardest part, well, there's kind of two things that were really hard for me. I was really shy as a kid, like really, really shy. Like if my parents left me somewhere, I would cry until they came back. So being in this profession is very like up close and personal. You have to be in somebody's space for hours at a time and talk to them. Yeah. So that was very hard for me to get over that. Another thing that I would say was hard. Oh, let me think about it. I forgot.
I'm sure there has to be so many because like you said, like you got to be in someone's face. You're in their space. Being shy, like you're like sparking conversation maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like just talking to people. Also, another hard part of entrepreneurship is just being an entrepreneur and not knowing when you're going to get paid again, you know, and trusting that the clients will come because even what I do, it's a luxury service. So it's not a necessity. So just going through those seasons of not having that many clients, because it fluctuates. Like one week I'll have like 20 people, next week I only have 2. So just trusting the process through that. But that's like a real, like you have to really trust in God that he's going to provide everything that you need. So it's just that building phase.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And also investing in yourself. Like, everything costs. Like, that chair that you have, if it hasn't been donated, or if you haven't had the connections for someone to,
Right.
like, support you, you got to pay like 150 plus or something, sometimes even more, for like really great
Yeah.
material.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole thing in itself. And a lot of people don't want to invest, but you have to invest
You have to
in order
spend
to
money to make money,
progress.
period.
Yeah, for sure.
You cannot
Cause
make money without spending any money.
Yeah, for sure. So where can people find you? Like, where can they support you and look?
Well, I'm on every social media. So my Instagram is Flex Body Work. That's my main social media. But I'm on Twitter,
Okay.
Facebook. What other social media is there? I don't even know.
Right? Everything's going to be in the link to description. But
Yes.
before we go, what is a mantra that you live by, that you want to leave the girls with? And if there's anything that you haven't said that you feel like needs to be said, let's talk about it.
Mantra.
Because mine is always and forever. I heard it from the Hood Healer. As long as you got breath, you got option. That is my wake up in the morning and hoorah, I got this.
That's a good one. What do I live by? Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
I think I live by just living in the present moment. You know, doing what makes you happy, doing what, just do 1% every day. Move
Yeah.
1% towards your goal every single day. That's what I try to do when I wake up. It's like, okay, what can I do to make myself just a little bit better today? Just constantly doing something that's improving you.
Yes. And if there's anything that you can say to women all around the world, what is something that you feel like either we can maybe do more of or hone in on, pay attention to?
I
What
would
would that be?
say definitely make sure that you have high rise, high standards for yourself. And
Yes.
make sure you keep that and encourage other women to do the same, because a lot of people don't know or don't realize, what they're doing in the moment. But when you carry yourself as like very high, like when you walk in a room, people notice it and they don't even know you. They didn't even have a
For
conversation
sure.
with you. They can just tell that, okay, yeah, she is up here. Like I'm scared to have a conversation with her. So just being that boss bee, like
Yes.
that's
Yes.
so important.
Yes. I love that you said that, because honestly, when you look good and you feel good, it shows. Like, when you show up for yourself, people treat you different. Because we've all been there where we walk somewhere and it ain't even about having makeup on, but how you present yourself. If you are presenting yourself in a manner that, no, I love me. I was intentional when I woke up and did my hair and brushed my teeth and put on deodorant, versus I just threw a bonnet on and I went to every stop that I can
Yes.
think of to run
Carry
errands.
yourself very well. Even if
Yes.
you're going to the gas station,
Yes.
always carry yourself very well.
Amen and ashe to that. So, y'all, I'm going to make sure I put all of Nikki's links in the description below. Y'all, give her a round of applause. Spam the comments and let her know that you want her back. And I want to be able to do a vlog with you when I come and actually get my massage. So we're going to talk about that next. But as always, Queen, make sure you pick up the daily devotional at www.prettygirlprogression.com. And as always, love yourself.
Thank you.